Going to start off the show with an email.
Wow. How did you know, Luke? How did you know?
Honestly, I reckon I could just say that at the start of every episode without even asking you, and there will be one.
Well, yeah, of course there's going to be one. I'm Sam.
Yes.
Hi, Sam.
Hello. A 15-year-old boy from Wales, and your 2 episodes on vaccines have really helped me as the history of medicine and specifically vaccines come up in my history curriculum. And I just wanted to tell you how useful and funny all 3 of you are.
Hey.
Thank you.
That's good.
I'm useful.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes.
that's part of a group.
Let's start the show
You're 1/3
before
useful.
I cry.
Hello and welcome to The Sci Guys, the show where we talk about the crazy, weird and wonderful stories from the science world. I'm Corey, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Jamp and Luke Cutfer.
Good day.
Hello.
This week we'll be talking about cannibalism and liquid cats.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're going to talk about cannibal cats who take other cats and
Liquefy
blend
them.
them
Yeah.
and then drink them.
The cannibals and the cats are not related.
Separate things.
Okay.
Separate things. It's lots of mini episodes today.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
This is like a best bits.
Do
but
they
like
have a common theme?
stuff that Corey couldn't make whole episodes out of?
Shut up.
He's made a big Sci Guys smoothie
Big
for us.
Frankenstein episode.
Yeah, so there is a common theme. And
Okay.
I will get into that
Is it
right now.
Cats and cannibals.
Well, no, that's not a common theme because I told you those 2 things aren't related.
Catapults.
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 Catapults. I want to do an episode on catapults.
Just catapult.
The
You do it.
invention-
Okay, right.
invention
Next
of
episode.
catapults.
Next episode, you do it on catapults.
All right. I'll look up
Right.
something. I'll make an hour of interesting stuff about
Okay.
catapults.
You know what? No.
You better.
Next bonus episode for December,
Yeah.
do one on catapults.
What, for Patreon?
For Patreons.
What, because it's not a good idea?
Because it's such a good idea, it'll convince everyone to
Corey's like,
sign up
I don't
to
have any
Patreon.
ideas that are bad enough for the bonus episode.
We only give our patrons the best episodes.
That's true.
So the Nobel Prize is something we've spoken about many times before on this podcast. It's a prize for great scientific achievements, and it's certainly an important thing. But what about the crazy, weird, and wonderful stories that still make you think?
You mean the
Yeah.
Ig Nobel Prize?
The Ig Nobel Prize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the remit for an Ig Nobel Prize is it makes you laugh first and then makes you think. So like previous examples of that was someone won an Ig Nobel Prize for levitating frogs.
Yeah.
But it was
We
actually
talked
to do
about
with
that, yeah.
something to do with medicine or something like that.
We spoke about him before.
Have we?
Yeah, we have.
I don't retain information
Well,
after we
That was
stop
actually
recording.
that was an episode with Jake,
Was it?
so Luke wasn't here.
Oh, okay, good. Didn't listen back.
There you go.
That's fine.
You've been called out, sir.
Yeah, it was actually, he was the, I was going to get onto that later, but since Luke spoiled it, I'll get into it right now. Andrew Geim, I still don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He is the only person so far to have won a Nobel Prize and an Ig Nobel Prize.
Brilliant.
Ah.
Not for the same thing. I
Well,
mean,
make it happen then.
he wasn't far off. He invented graphene and, like you said, levitated frogs.
Which is basically the same thing.
Do you know what the Ig Nobel Prize is? I know you do, so you're not answering this one.
Okay.
Do you know what the Ig Nobel Prize is?
Didn't you just say?
Yeah, but can you remember?
Oh, the Ig Nobel Prize is for like weirder scientific achievements that then make you. They're like actual scientific. They have scientific discoveries and like actual scientific basis, but they're just ridiculous.
They sound
They
ridiculous.
seem
More like they sound
ridiculous.
ridiculous on the surface.
They
yeah.
seem ridiculous, but they do actually.
Exactly. So it's for...
It's like science memes.
It
It's
is
basically what
actually a discovery or an achievement.
Another
Effectively,
one.
yeah.
I agree.
Another one in the past was, I believe someone won an Ig Nobel Prize for doing a study on why ponytails go left to right when you're when you're running, you're going up and down.
Someone
So
did do
you,
it.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
bounce up and down, but your ponytail goes left to right, and it was
That's
super interesting
true.
about like dynamics of like semi-liquid bodies, or I can't remember, but something along those lines.
There's a lot of really cool Ig Nobel Prize winners. And it's kind of the inspiration for this podcast a little bit. You know?
It was, yeah.
It was.
That was one of the things you brought up when we were discussing
Yeah, it was one of the things Luke
the
brought up.
concept.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you
As I
did.
said, I don't retain information.
Not even your own information.
No.
That blank look on your face when I said that's really said it all.
I don't take on information that isn't relevant to me.
But yeah, it is the prize of the podcast, effectively. It came from, you know where it came from, Luke?
I do not.
I'll tell you where the name came
Okay.
from first. So ignoble is a word.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which means
Yes.
the opposite of noble.
Ah.
So initially, it was organized by the scientific humor magazine, The Annals of Improbable Research, and since then they've just been running it. So Mark Abrams was the editor and co-founder of The Annals of Improbable Research, and he just decided one day to give out awards
And
for
it became a
weird
big
scientific
thing.
achievements, and it's become this massive thing. So it started in 1991, and we've been doing it for the past however many years that is, 28.
That's more recent than I would have thought.
Well, yeah, I mean the Nobel Prize isn't that much older.
Really?
Yeah, like 50 years.
So
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah, that's
So
kind
double.
of what I was thinking.
So double.
Well, yeah, I mean, but, no, that, I mean, look,
I'm 25 and I'm not nearly 50. So it's
Still
quite,
not that far off 50.
but in that long,
Only your
I'm
current
also
age now
not
plus
far
your
off
current
birth, James.
I mean, you're not far off of someone else's birth. What if you have a child soon? Okay, I was wrong. The Nobel Prize was first awarded in 1901, so it was a long time after.
Yeah.
That's a few more than 50 years.
Look, in a couple hundred years, they'll basically be the same.
Wasn't long ago, just as more long ago than the First World War.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
wasn't that long ago.
No.
They were in the
but
same
neither
century.
was my
not
creation.
far off the 90s.
My creation, Luke.
As we've established in this podcast, the universe began, from my perspective, when I began. So anything
That's
before
when the
that
universe
is
began.
like eons ago compared to me.
Or it was seconds ago. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Shut up.
Time doesn't exist outside
Shut
it.
up.
I hate it.
Does anyone know? I don't know why I'm keep on asking. Does anyone? You're the only one that will know this. Do you know what you win for winning the Nobel Prize?
I actually don't
Oh,
know.
you've told us this before.
Have I?
I'm pretty sure you have. But
I don't think I have.
I've forgotten.
You don't win any money,
You don't win any money.
No.
No, that's
unlike
the
the
Nobel,
Nobel Prize where you win $1 million.
Yeah, which is a lot of money.
I'd rather win that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I?
Well, no. Okay, so
Would I rather be a
Well,
meme or
depends
rich?
depends what you win.
it really okay. So the first prize really was a meme, and they changed the prize every single year. So the first prize was a mirror, a hand mirror, with an audio chip in it, so that when you raised it up to look at it, it screamed at you.
No, screw the million. I want that. I want that mirror.
A screaming mirror.
Well, James, I know what I'm getting you for your Christmas.
Please find me a screaming mirror.
You'd have to win an Ig Nobel Prize first, Luke. That's a tough one.
That's a really thoughtful Christmas present, actually.
I will present James with an Ig Nobel Prize
Aw.
What, Luke?
for editing the podcast consistently every week.
I feel like
Thank
you're
you.
missing what Ig Nobel Prizes are handed out for, but I like that.
I think you
It's a
should
weird
shut up.
Yeah, so not only do you get gifts such as a screaming mirror, you also get given them by actual Nobel laureates. So people that have
Brilliant.
actually won Nobel
Oh,
Prizes
nice.
That's
show up to hand out.
Biggest kick in the balls I've ever heard.
It's like getting a Razzie, which is like the opposite of the Oscars, from Meryl Streep. You
Yeah.
know? You did a terrible job. So says I, Meryl Streep. There you go.
Here are,
Get lost.
here are the actual winners presenting you with your screaming mirror.
It's a runners-up award effectively. They've also got lectures that they do. So you've got 60 seconds once when you win your prize to go up on stage and then kind of tell everyone what it's about, which isn't very long.
That's not a lot of time, is it?
It's not a lot of time. So the Saturday after the prize giving ceremony, everyone gets about 10 minutes to just go through what they've discovered.
To who?
I was going to say, do
Whoever
they go
showed-
back?
To whoever shows up.
No.
Yeah, just
So effectively, nobody.
well, no. 'cause
Apart from people who are there to present.
We should go.
yeah,
Can
that's,
we go?
That's
Wait.
actually, I've got this whole section at the end of the podcast about why we should go.
Okay.
Where
So
are
let's
they?
get to that
Are
then.
they in London?
No.
Oh.
No, it's far away, but it's doable.
Well,
Ah.
maybe we can use all of the millions of
Okay.
dollars of Patreon money we've raised to get a Sci Guys
Go
trip.
subscribe to patreon.com/SciGuys to get us to the Ig Nobles.
And
And we
could do
might
it-
bring two of you along with us.
Ooh,
What?
don't make a
I will
promise you
get to
can't
it.
keep.
Oh, do you know what? Okay, I'll tell you now. Shall I just tell you now?
Tell us at the end.
Tell you at the
Okay.
end. I'll tell you at the end. So have I told you that 10 prizes are awarded each year?
No.
So they've got prizes for every Nobel category, and then also some more like education and biology and just other scientific subjects. So there's a lot of them that win. Effectively, what I'm going to do today is just go through some of the winners that I
All
quite
right,
like.
cool.
I think you should play a game with us where you tell us what the experiment was and we try and guess what it was trying to discover.
What it was actually trying to discover.
Yeah, like you'd
Okay.
say.
Okay,
They
that's a fun
levitate
game.
the
Oh,
Okay.
frog.
what the point of it is. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So as I've mentioned, Andre Geim was a winner of the Nobel Prize. He was the man who levitated a frog. Do you have any idea why he would levitate a frog?
You're trying to make me remember to weeks ago.
I think it was something to do with
Crap.
medication. If I'm going off some vague recollection of a Radio 4 show called The Infinite Monkey Cage, and I think it was something to do with medication, where they were basically trying to suspend like living matter in the air for some reason, but I can't remember what it is. Please tell us. But it was using sound waves, I think, or was it using? It was using the magnetic
Magnetic
of
waves.
the magnetic dipoles of the water in the frog. Was that what it was?
Basically, so it was it was kind of proving that everything is a little bit magnetic.
Yeah.
To the point,
Nothing to do with medicine then.
it can be used in medicine. That was kind of the application of what they
Right.
discovered, but it wasn't really the goal. So the levitating frogs thing came from what Geim called Friday night experiments, which was just when
Right.
once a month or once every now and then he would have one person just work on something ridiculous or weird or something
Nice.
that wouldn't work in his lab.
That's like Pixar when they have like 20% of their time they can just make some random thing that they want to do.
Exactly, and that led to the discovery of graphene. From
What?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
same-
you mean that thing, the Friday night
the
experiment.
Friday night experiments.
Not levitating a frog
Oh,
led to the
that was the
discovery of
relationship.
graphene.
Well,
Yeah.
So he says that the levitating the frog led to it in terms of the idea of
He set up
levitating
the
a frog.
game, yeah.
kind of set up the dominoes that led
I
to
forgot the
graphene.
relationship there because I know the graphene had to do with like taping. It's like taping some lead. was
Yeah,
it?
so some pencil lead, so graphite.
Yeah,
they were
graphite.
they were trying to clean it, and by cleaning it, by pulling the graphite apart with tape, you got a really really thin layer
Really
of carbon,
thin, Yeah.
which was graphene. It was a
Nice.
really cheap and easy way to make
Yeah.
this amazing substance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't really for medicine. It can be used for medicine. It was just to kind of see what would happen. Mostly, this one is one that is not like the others in that there is no point. He just kind of did it.
Okay.
Yeah, but good on him, Mr. Andre. Left and right scrota often differ in temperature, whether you're naked or not.
Scrota meaning balls.
Yep.
Okay. Well, interesting. Well, I would guess that maybe that has something to do with temperature regulation.
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Because one of the balls hangs lower than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which way around it is. And so the one is closer to the body than the other one. And so they always would have different temperatures because the whole reason why you have an external like sac for your mating organs is in order that they can move closer and further away from the body to regulate their own temperature. So is that why?
It was mostly for fertility, really. They were they were looking into fertility. So they were looking into fertility of postmen in France.
Postman.
Yeah, so French postmen.
Postman Pat.
I don't know why it was French postmen. Look, you choose one group of people and you just study them.
Sure.
Okay? But it was a case of just seeing how it affected reproduction. And they discovered that one is always warmer than the other, regardless of any external factors.
Sure.
Right.
So, again, there's not any real point in this.
How
It was
much
just,
warmer? Significantly warmer? Or just a little bit?
Hold on, let me find. It doesn't give me the exact temperature of these
30
11.
degrees.
Disappointing. Show your workings, scrotum studiers.
They asked 11 postal workers to stand for 90 minutes, and they measured their scrotums every 2 minutes.
What a delightful job that must have been.
They got
I
paid
assume what you
nicely.
mean is they measured their scrotum's
The
temperature.
temperature, not
Yeah.
the size.
They got out a tape measure. Has it shrunk?
That would also
Well,
be
that's how
quite
you measure
effective,
temperature
yeah.
on scrotum. Yeah, there you go. They also did a really similar experiment, but in this case, it was 11 bus drivers while they were sitting down.
Right. I don't think their occupation affects the heat of their balls.
It could. I mean, if you're an Arctic explorer
Oh, shut up. That's not your occupation. It's because you're in the Arctic.
or a fry cook, I mean,
A fry cook.
yeah, you know,
You're
you're
frying
at
off your
McDonald's,
balls.
you're frying food.
Again, that's not because of your occupation. It's because of the place you are. And I assume they wouldn't do this scientific experiment in the Arctic and in the kitchen.
You don't think people do scientific experiments in the Arctic?
I don't think they'd measure ball temperature in the Arctic.
Well, I mean, they probably would if they're, worried about ball health.
Probably colder than a firefighter's balls.
That's probably true.
Only when they're in fire.
Firefighters probably have quite cool balls because they go into fire a lot. So they'd want to have their balls be specifically cool. Otherwise, they'd overheat. You ought to think about that.
Ice pack them or something.
Yeah.
Please give us the next one.
I don't want to.
We've spent far too much of
Can
a
we talk
percentage
about
of
balls
this.
for a bit longer?
I feel like we should talk about balls for a little longer.
yeah, I think we should.
So, on average, the left testicle is warmer than the right, which
Right.
apparently contributes to the difference in size and shape of testicles.
Interesting testicle fact. Did you know that before they understood why the testicles descend during puberty, they thought that, I think this was the Romans, they thought that the reason why the male voice deepens during puberty was because the balls
are dragging it down.
dragging on the vocal cords, stretching them out.
I thought the balls were connected
Your
all the way
testicles
up.
are supposed to descend.
Shut up.
I mean, that makes sense, though.
Get help.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
They thought it was two little weights there to go lower the voice by
I mean, it
descending the
makes
balls.
sense.
It makes sense.
If you have no medical
Look,
knowledge
you
whatsoever,
only know better because you've
It
been
also
taught better.
doesn't make sense because when you stretch a string, it gets higher in pitch, not lower.
Maybe it's pulling the top down.
No, it
squashing
makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Do not forgive this stupid scientific theory.
To be fair, the Romans, it probably was the Romans because they're not very bright at all.
no.
No, I mean,
They
look.
built aqueducts.
Yeah, that's the one thing they did. And I'm pretty sure they stole those from the Greeks. Most of the things that the Romans came up with
Piracy.
were stolen from the Greeks, including their religion. They
You
just
wouldn't steal an aqueduct.
For anyone not born in Britain, they're not going to understand that joke. But-
Australians will get that joke too.
Will
we,
they?
we had the,
Really?
we had the exact same ad.
Wow.
I think they've got it in America as well.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go. It's a worldwide
worldwide.
joke.
cool.
Moving on. 5-year-old children produce about half a litre of saliva per day.
Is that more than other people?
No, yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's higher than adults.
So, well, I guess, I mean, that's not a difficult one to, that's just a study. And the conclusion is that 5-year-old children produce half a
I'd say
litre of
they're just
saliva per day.
Drooly little mongrels, aren't they?
Yeah, but why would they?
Why would they?
Yeah, but why would they study that?
Because
That's the whole point of you is to try and the whole point of this, right?
Oh.
Is to figure out why.
figure
Oh
out
yeah, I forgot.
why there's so
We're playing that game.
figure out why there's so many dehydrated children. I don't know.
You don't hydrate yourself
Why
with
do all
saliva.
of the children keep dying of thirst around the age of 5? I would guess it's a hormonal change thing.
Has it got anything to do with the enzymes in their saliva?
So the enzymes in their saliva are largely the same as
Okay.
in ours.
I just thought maybe they need more to digest their food.
Is it to do with chemical balancing of the mouth? Does something happen with bacteria in the mouth at that age? Or is it because teeth are falling out? These are some guesses.
These are incorrect guesses.
Okay.
No,
Baby
it's
teeth.
so kids have a slower production of saliva than adults, but they just eat more.
Right.
That's all.
Oh,
That's it. They just produce more because they eat more.
But hang on. Why is it specifically 5-year-old children make more saliva than every other age of child?
I assume they only
They
tested
just studied
on 5-year-olds.
5-year-old children.
Yeah.
Oh, they only studied 5-year-old children.
15
Yeah.
boys and 15 girls, and they all
So
They
it's
all
probably
produce about
just, it's probably
500
just
mils.
children,
yeah.
but they only tested 5-year-olds.
That's not even that much, to be honest.
That's really weird because in a scientific study, you're meant to have like a control, one thing you control for, and for some reason they're controlling for the age of the child,
Well-
rather than like the amount of food they're eating or like anything, literally anything else.
But the interesting part of that is they only controlled for age, and it was all pretty much the same between boys and girls. They didn't control their eating or anything. Just mostly the same.
Sure, but it, like if I did a study,
That's this much. That's this much spit.
Ew.
that's by the way,
Oh,
he's
sorry, I'm
holding,
holding
up
up-
a cup that's half a liter.
It's not actually spit.
But my
It's what I
point,
prepared earlier.
my
I've
point
been working on that for days, Luke.
My point being that if I wanted to do a study into like the length of hair that grows per day, and I conducted a study going 27-year-old men hairs grow at 1 millimeter per day, and every other age also grows at 1 millimeter per day, and I randomly mentioned 27-year-old men for no reason. That's just so strange.
Yeah. But
It's
okay,
like
okay.
if you
The
went
Nobel Prize.
men's fingernails grow at 0.5 millimeter per day. Brackets, and also so do women's fingernails.
We just
So
tested
why
on
did we
men.
mention men at all?
Okay, here's the thing. It's basically the same as adults, but kids are much smaller than adults.
Sure.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting.
They make more
So
I
spit.
hadn't
they
noticed.
create proportionally more spit than adults.
Yeah,
But-
for some reason.
Because they eat lots of food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
But they probably eat less food than adults.
Probably.
They
Lad.
eat more often.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
This is such a strange episode.
It's a strange one, isn't it? It's odd. I'm not going to pretend that it's not odd, Luke.
Hit me with another one.
Scratching an ankle itch feels even better than scratching other itches.
That is true.
Ah.
That is true.
How did they measure that?
They had a pleasure index.
How did the what is that just reported, like self-reported?
Yeah. So they they basically just asked people to scratch different parts of their bodies and then rate how good it felt.
I would guess the reason for that is that you have more receptors in the ankle because of things like rats and spiders and stuff that might try and climb up your legs, and so you've got a higher per inch receptor density on your ankles. Is that why?
They've not figured out why.
What?
Maybe you've just figured it out.
I think I've just figured it
You've
out.
probably figured it
Can
out.
I have an Ig Nobel Prize, please?
I mean, no, you got to get this published. Also, we've not mentioned this. All of these papers are published in actual journals.
Sure.
So if you get that
Yeah,
little,
but so was the
You
one
have
that
to
said
be.
vaccines cause autism.
Yeah, but that was
doesn't mean
retracted.
anything. It doesn't mean anything.
that was retracted.
No. Okay, so wait, so why did they win an Ig Nobel Prize if they didn't figure out why that is?
Because they weren't
They
looking
just
to figure out
pointed
why.
out that that it exists.
They proved that ankle itches, are more pleasurable than
I
other
don't need
itches.
to know why.
That is super weird.
Yeah, so apparently
Did they even hypothesize as to why?
No.
I did. I did that. And I'm just a person on a science podcast. And I went, here's maybe why. And you all went,
So they found
"Oh,
that out and just went, cool.
I mean, presumably,
Let's
yeah.
not look into why that is, but still publish it and accept an
that
award.
weird. It just turns out to be like that.
That's how you can think about it, but then you got to do other studies. They were just trying to see if ankles itch more. And they did find that not just ankles, but also your back.
Yeah,
You get a-
back scratching is
you get a-
amazing.
Not just a better feeling, but you get a stronger itch.
Yeah.
And we've got
Yeah.
specific kind of nerve pathways for itching.
I feel like that though, the back scratching one maybe is that like, you know how like if you're like a cave person, you come across a bunch of berries growing on a tree, you have the urge to like gorge on them because you don't know when you're next going to find some berries, and so that's what causes us to all overeat and have eating disorders and things like that. Is the leftover
Survival instinct.
urge to survive. Yeah. I reckon the back scratching one is like I can always scratch my arms, I can always scratch my legs.
Oh, it's
I can
'cause you
scratch
can't
like
reach
part
your
of my
back necessarily.
But if I can find something that scratches my back for me, I don't know when I'm next going to have that, like a person or like a tree. I might not have that in a while, so I should take it and enjoy it whilst I have it.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you if I was to say this one, it would just give it away. So I'm going to just say 2 words: wombat poop.
Wombat poop.
Wombat
poop.
I vaguely remember hearing something about
ponder on this
wombat.
one.
Oh, they're cubes, right?
Yeah.
They poop cubes. Like
They
their
poop
their poop is
cubes.
cubic, like a dice.
What?
Yeah,
That is
that was
mad.
something they found quite recently. It was in the past year or something.
Which is weird because for centuries people would have just been seeing like cubes.
What are
like,
these cubes on the ground?
Cubes of poop, and be like,
Yeah.
well, let's not look into this.
Especially weird as cubes don't exist in nature, really. Like you don't get many like perfect 6-sided cubes in nature.
Sugar cubes.
In,
Sugar is natural.
Shut up.
they're not naturally cubic.
Chocolate bars? Chocolate bars exist. Cocoa's natural.
Well, chocolate
Rubik's
bars aren't cubes, are they?
What?
Silly boy.
Depends if you... Yes, they are. They are cubes.
No, they're not.
They are
They're cuboids.
cuboids. Right, okay.
Yeah, cute boys.
Okay, so what's the reason why wombats poo in perfect cubes?
Square anuses.
Squinus.
It's going.
Why don't you give us a guess? I don't want to give this one away just yet.
Do they poo the cuboid or do they make it into a cube after they've pooed it?
No, they poo it cubed.
What?
It comes out. It
And is
comes out quite square.
Is it flat on the top and bottom as well as on the sides?
It's a
Yes.
cube.
What?
I need to.
Do you want to see a picture? I'll get you a picture.
Please.
Get him a picture. It's so weird. I didn't believe it at first either. But when you see a picture, it is just like an almost dice kind of.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
like brownies.
Weird.
Just don't eat them.
Yeah, they look like little. You know when you get to like Tesco and you get like a little tub of
Oh, those little brownies that they've got.
little
Yeah.
brownies or like little flapjacks or something, and they're perfectly cut cubes. That is
Yeah.
so strange.
I wish my poop was that shape.
Ah, why?
So
does-
little muffins.
You could build a little wall with it. They're like little bricks.
Yeah, that is weird. Okay, right. So let's try and work out why that is then.
Even their heads are cubic. Look at them.
That's how it is. They put it in cubes and then they put it out cubes. That's not how it is.
no.
I actually know how it is. Would you like to know how it is?
I would like to know how it is.
So apparently it's elastic intestines. They've got particularly elastic intestines. So in the last 8% of a wombat's intestine, feces go from a liquidy state to a like small cubey state.
That is so weird.
Yeah,
It's gonna irk me to my
they-
grave.
they inflated intestines of wombats to find this out. They weren't alive,
I was
presumably.
gonna say I hope they were not alive one.
What confuses me is that like I can kind of understand why there would be like cuboid on like 4 of the 6 sides, but I don't understand how the 5th and 6th side also end up cubes.
Yeah, being flat.
But because if you think about it, if it's moving through the intestine,
yeah,
it's going to be pushed from all sides, and it can kind of turn.
not from
around.
the top and bottom.
Yeah, because your intestines aren't straight.
Right. So the intestine is like stretching out round the poop,
Mm.
and like as soon as it's gone from an area, that bit collapses back in an elastic way.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's what it seems like.
Wow.
And these guys, what are their names? Patricia Yang and David Hu.
Yeah.
Who?
David Hu.
Who?
David.
Oh, David.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, David.
David who?
David.
Who?
David Hu.
Horton is a who.
I love this Doctor Who episode.
Horton is David.
There's David. Dr. David Hu.
But he's never heard that before.
Where was I going? It's Dr. David's and Patricia Yang's. It's not their first Ig Nobel Prize. They also won in 2015 for testing the theory that all mammals can empty their bladders in about 21 seconds.
Do they just scare a load of animals?
I mean, look, I just love that these guys, their entire field of study is just animal excrement.
When does the 21 seconds start?
When they
When they
start
say-
peeing.
When the first
Oh,
drop
when they said
falls out.
okay.
Yeah, it's from the first drop to the last drop.
Okay, I was imagining
No
the
shaking
the
included.
start of the poo.
Oh, and isn't there
To-
like
No.
dropping.
This is urine. Empty the bladder.
Oh,
Bladder is
okay,
pee.
okay,
I thought
okay.
it was that all animals empty their bladder in 21 seconds.
thought
Like
it
they
was
all do it
bowels.
in roughly the same time. It's not like in maximum 21 seconds. It's like all of them roughly take this much time
Definitely pee
to
longer than
do.
21
It's that
seconds.
they can empty it in 21 seconds.
There was some scientific study that said that like most wheeze last a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so I did also read that as well, that most urinations last about the same amount of time
Really?
for some reason.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's a case of just the flow rate being
Yeah.
Yeah.
higher or lower depending on the
Because
size
if
of
you're
the
a
animal.
bigger animal, you also have a higher flow rate, but you have more urine to pass.
I mean, think about it this way: a mouse has got a much smaller urethra than an elephant,
Yes, but it's, yes.
so a lot more urine can come out at once
Yes.
of their urethra.
Yeah.
There
But they
you go.
also have
Yes.
more urine to pass
Yeah, so it takes about
because
the
they're
same
an
amount of
Take-
time.
elephant.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Ah, perfectly
What I don't
balanced.
understand about the square poos is that if
Oh, we're
it's
back
like
on the
we're
poos.
back
if
on
it's
it.
like squeezy intestines, which is what you're kind of explaining, I don't understand why it doesn't come out as a circle, as a sphere.
Well, it's not that squeezy, is it?
Yeah, but why is it pointy?
Stop rolling it like dough.
Why is it pointy?
It's not pointy. It's rounded.
Or
It's
why isn't it like a
rounded cube.
Toblerone? Why 4 sides?
I don't know. I have not blown up wombat intestines, so I can't answer your questions
like
for
a
you.
hexagon, like a long hexagon. Why don't they ship perfect Toblerones?
Why don't you ask David Who that question and see what he says?
David who?
David Who?
David who?
Yeah, David Who?
Who?
Yeah,
David.
Oh,
David.
David.
Yes.
David who?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Doctor.
What's the next one?
The next one is about the rheology of cats.
What does rheology mean?
It's fluid dynamics. So
Ah,
this is liquid cats.
cats has fluids.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I saw a great thing on Twitter yesterday, but not based on, but I mean, if remembering back to the episode that I did about particles being waves and also particles, there was a great video, an aerial video of a sheepdog herding in a load of sheep, and it said, "This video proves that sheep are particles, but a herd is a wave." And the sheepdog was running around, and the sheep, as a group, behave like a liquid. It's so strange to watch. They look like liquids, like they're influenced by each other's positions.
Yeah.
But each individual sheep obviously is a physical point of matter. But the herd behaves a lot according to fluid dynamics. I'll retweet it on the Zeitgeist Twitter.
You should do that.
I shall.
Yeah, please do.
I will.
It's interesting.
Good.
So liquidy
Okay.
cats.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm trying to bring myself back.
So what was this about? Was it about the fact that cats perfectly mold into whatever shape they're put into?
Yeah, so, I mean, cats effectively function as liquids. That was the whole point of this. So,
I love science sometimes.
but what I love about this paper, I read this paper way back at the start of the podcast, trying to do an episode on it, but I couldn't get through it. It was just so weird. I was
Conclusion: cats are liquid.
This
The
is
end.
not going to fly as a whole episode. It's too weird.
I'll do it. Or James can do it.
It starts off with a Greek quote, which translates to "everything flows," and everything flows and nothing abides. And it's true for cats because cats can fit into anything.
Yeah.
So he,
Like octopuses.
yeah, like octopuses, except cats
That's weird to watch. Have you ever seen a video of an octopus going through something?
yeah, they
Like
can
a
fit
tiny,
through anything that
tiny
the
hole.
beak can fit through.
Very strange.
Also, when people find out that octopuses have beaks, so effectively, what this person did was just study cats and do some maths based on.
It's just an excuse to be around cats.
Be
wasn't
around
it?
cats, yeah,
Yeah.
and do maths based on them being liquids. So there's this.
Okay.
Yeah, there are these groups of equations in rheology to understand the flow rate and shear stress, which is just kind of movement and forces of liquids. And this person just decided to write an entire paper on that, but about cats.
To be fair, I have a theory that cats have a thick coat of fur so that the internal of the cat remains unobserved and can be a wave. And then when you're just looking at their coat and not looking at what's
They
underneath,
change state.
the organs don't really exist, and they just exist as a wave of probability, so they can just be an actual liquid.
Schrodinger's cat, yeah.
Very
I have
good.
this note on my phone that says that cats exist between dimensions, and I don't know where it came from. Because
Really?
they're weird, aren't they?
I'm
they-
weird.
they-
I can't
I
exist
don't think
between
that's
dimensions.
criteria for existing between
Yeah, but they know
dimensions.
too much. Have you ever looked into
Yeah.
a cat's eyes?
Well,
They just,
there's an old Buddhist saying that says, "I have lived with many Zen masters. All of them are cats."
but cats live the best life. They've completely domesticated us into
Yeah.
just doing everything for them.
I look at my cat a lot, and I'm like,
You bitch.
"Yeah, screw you, man. You've won."
I mean, all Artie has to put up with is kind of me swinging him like a pendulum every now and then.
Getting picked up every once in a while, yeah.
And he gets a free life the rest
Yeah.
of the time.
Exactly. He gets
Yeah.
to go where he wants,
Gets
do what
picky
he
as well.
wants.
He's like, food now.
Does he?
Yeah. He goes
Sometimes-
up to his cupboard and he's like, give me food.
Aw.
Or sometimes someone will leave and he'll get bored, so he'll wake everyone else up in the house to give him attention.
He will, if he's bored, he'll just go to everyone's door one by one and go, meow.
He knows when I get up for
Meow.
work because he sits outside my door
And
waiting for
waits.
me every morning.
Yeah.
Lovely.
He's also started sitting where I put my shoes.
So you have to pay him attention.
You want your shoes? You'll have to at least look at me.
Yeah, so anyway.
Maybe cats don't exist, and they require us to observe them in order that they
Oh my
exist.
god, a bit like Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cats are weeping angels. Amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
Ig Nobel Prize for us, I think.
Mm.
You had enough about cats now. Yeah?
Never.
No?
But yes.
For now.
Good. You guys feeling hungry?
Oh, cannibal time.
It's cannibal time.
Cannibal time.
Although I've got some bad news for you.
Oh.
Being a cannibal isn't all it's cracked up to be.
What
You
is
gotta
it
eat
cracked
the,
up
you
to
gotta
be?
eat the crack as well.
Oh,
It's
James.
a delicacy.
James.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
No.
Wow.
Well, kind of. Effectively. And this is kind of the inspiration for this episode. And I'll tell you why. Because someone that I know, a friend of mine,
Is it James?
it's not... No.
Is it you?
What? No.
Don't eat
Is it me?
people.
I have other friends.
Do you?
Yes.
You exist outside
Hard-
of this podcast?
hard to
Yes.
believe.
I thought you were just the voice that came out the speaker.
Get out of my speaker.
Very rude, Luke. Very rude. No, this is just all your psychosis. This is happening inside your head.
Sure, absolutely.
Wake up, Luke.
Oh,
Wake up.
I'm trying to wake up, Corey.
So I saw a tweet from one of my friends, basically saying that he walked into a lecture and made a joke about eating someone.
Right.
And it turned out that his lecturer had actually written a paper on cannibalism and won an Ig Nobel Prize, which is the person that won this prize. Yeah, so that's the one that tipped me off to this cannibalism.
Wow.
Yeah, he really put his foot in his mouth there.
Shut up.
Thankfully, he didn't eat it. Yeah. So
What did he discover?
he was effectively
What did he win? What did he win for?
well, he won for writing an entire paper on cannibalism and how nutritious the human body is.
What? How
Yeah.
nutritious is it?
Not very.
Oh.
So it was effectively looking at kind of prehistoric era and how there were theories that, humans or human type people could be eating each other for sustenance.
Sure.
Yummy.
But he thought that didn't really make sense. So he thought, let's figure out how, nutritious people were
Sure.
to see whether it was worth actually eating people. So he took a 65 kilogram man, which
And he ate him.
well, yes.
And then he measured his vitamin C levels.
He measured how full he felt. 143 pounds, 65 kilograms if you're
Wow.
American.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And he figured out that 32,000 calories are in
That's nothing.
Are
I
in
was
the
going to say, it's not a lot, is
It's
it?
like 2
are
days.
in the muscle tissues.
In the muscle. Okay.
Thirty-
That's like 2 weeks.
Luke, 32,000 calories.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant 3,200 calories.
No,
No.
Sorry. No, I do eat 16,000 calories per day.
Wow, you look good, man. You look
Thanks.
really good.
Thank you.
It all goes to his hips.
Because I'm a diver who's learning how to dive.
Okay.
Michael Phelps eat loads of calories. That's
Yeah,
all I know.
he's not a diver. He's a swimmer.
I know. Saw water.
You made a diving reference in our last episode as well.
Did I?
You did. You said that exact thing. I'm a diver learning how to dive.
He's learning to dive. That's his thing.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so 32,000 calories in human muscle tissues. And obviously, early humans hunted mammoths, which have about 3.6 million calories.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense to hunt and kill a human, which is probably
Nah.
harder to kill than a mammoth because
They're more
they'll
like-
try and kill
they're
you
more-
back.
Yeah, they can kill you back and they're more agile.
Yeah, they're smarter, So we've basically discovered that, cannibalism wasn't really that big of a thing way back when.
Nah. Not worth it.
No, it's not.
Too much effort.
Probably for the same reasons that it's a thing now, just desperation,
Yeah.
going nuts, or you get your leg chopped off, which actually happened. Have you seen that story?
Oh, the one about the plane. The plane crash?
No, a man had his foot amputated and then invited his friends around to eat it.
Oh. That was also quite
What?
recent, wasn't it?
That was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do remember that.
Weird.
I think we
Yeah.
actually had a conversation about it. Like, we would try it.
We did because a few of our friends were having surgery and we wanted to eat them.
Well, Corey and I once
Oh,
spoke
yeah,
about
that's
making
right.
vegan black pudding out of our own blood.
Yes, I genuinely want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not technically vegan, but it's from ourselves. So,
Well, no, it's
Well, you got
it's-
consent.
yeah.
I mean, it's like saying biting your nails isn't vegan,
Sure.
but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah, but that's
consent.
like that's like saying biting somebody else's nails is like drinking their blood, which is definitely not.
You
But if
say
you've got
potato, I
consent for
say
both things, then
potato.
it's fine.
It depends if it's consensual or not. Because I mean, if someone's biting your nails unconsensually, that's pretty
Sure,
weird.
That's weirder
but I'd
than
rather
drinking their
somebody
blood
bite my
consensually.
nails than drink my blood without my permission.
No, because I
But
can
it's
I can
weirder to
understand it-
bite someone's nails without permission than it is to drink someone's blood with permission.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
No, but I can understand the joys of drinking blood. Is my point. Whereas biting nails is just disgusting.
Okay. Right. Well,
Just gross little.
good. Wasn't this fun?
So effectively, the conclusion of this cannibalism study was that we should be more careful about how we define cannibalism when talking about prehistory, because we should talk about the motives behind it to really give pre-humans.
So what? Like it's not cannibalism if it's out of desperation?
Well, yeah, no, in that we shouldn't talk about cannibalism as being something that people just did for
So
fun.
Cannibalism is not an act; it's a mindset.
Well, yeah, let's put it that way.
Okay.
you know?
Like boomers.
Yeah, boomer is not an age; it's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
It's a lifestyle, you know.
It's a lifestyle. I don't
it's
agree with
my
him.
lifestyle choice, and you can't discriminate against me for it.
Okay, boomer.
We got one in. We got an okay immigrant. Okay, and that's the end of all of my weird little Ig
Yes, it
Nobels.
is.
Hey, nice one.
So, tell us about how we're going to go to the Ig Nobels and we can take 2 people with us.
Shall I tell you about how we're going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so effectively, you can go to the ceremony. Anyone is allowed to go to the ceremony. You just need to get tickets. But if you have 5 or more tickets, you can go as a group or as a company. We have 3 of
Ooh.
us. If we can get 2 more people to get tickets with us,
Yes.
we can go as a group.
So,
So if we just raise some money for next September,
what's the benefit of going as a group rather than just going?
you just get to have your own table.
Ooh.
That'd be quite nice, actually.
Side Guy's
wouldn't it?
table at the Ig Nobel Prizes.
Where is it though?
It's in Massachusetts at
Oh.
MIT.
So we have to go to America.
We got to go to
Yeah.
America.
Okay. Well, we're
Look.
not going to be going for a while.
I think we can go, not this year, but next year.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. No, when I say that, I mean not 2020, but
2021.
2021.
So what you meant to say is, I think we can go not this year, but next year. Next year.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, but really, if you're ever around the Ig Nobel Prize, I would genuinely recommend going. It seems like such a fun time. They've got lots of traditions, like throwing paper airplanes up onto the stage. There used to be a man that would, there used to be.
This sounds like a screening of The Room.
Yeah, it does.
It is. It's that same kind of vibe. It's just weird scientists that like weird things. Like, put it this way: most scientists are weird and not normal. But
Yes,
right, but you've got
that
two.
is fact.
You've got 2 types. You've got the weird loner types and the weird not loner types.
Okay.
They're the not loner types.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Quite
Anyway,
fun. I wouldn't have any other reason to go to Massachusetts. So
no, exactly. No one would.
exactly.
There's nothing else there.
Not even people who live there.
No, they leave. They only come back to the Ig Nobel Prize.
And that's the end of the show. With Corey insulting part of America.
I'll insult all of America. It sucks. Goodbye.
Whoa.
Thank you for watching. You can find the full references for this episode in the description. Subscribe for new episodes every Sunday, and why not leave us a nice wee comment? You can find and contact us at SciGuysPod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or send us an email at sciguyspod@gmail.com.
That's SciGuysPod@gmail.com.
@gmail.com. You can find me at Not Corey everywhere.
You can find me at Jampkin everywhere.
And you can find me at Luke Cutforth everywhere.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.